And we're back. How you doing, everyone? This is your host, Jesse, a.k.a. Jeezy, a.k.a. whatever the fuck you want to call me. And you are listening to Up Next Podcast. And yes, I did that at one big breath, and now I'm winded. Anyways, we have our next guest, our season opener for Season 3, Episode 1. Miss Canela, go ahead and introduce yourself and say hello to the audience.
Hello, my name is Canela. What else do I say? I am a stay-at-home mother of 4 children, ranging from 4-year-old twins to 2 teenagers.
Nice.
And they keep me pretty busy.
Yeah, I bet they do. Kids are pretty rambunctious, especially the little ones. So,
yes.
You know, I got to ask, so out of all the kids, you said you have 4 kids. Which one probably that to you stands out as like quite the troublemaker?
Oh, well, my son, which is one of the twins, he's crazy. I don't know if that's just a boy thing.
Maybe.
And then my second oldest, who's 13, she's just a lot.
I bet. You know, teenagers. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
They go through their little phases, but eventually they grow a little wisdom, and then they outgrow some of the stuff they used to do.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that one.
Okay.
I'm just hoping.
How about you when you were that age?
13?
Yeah, give me a little something. I mean, how were you like back then as far as like, you know, dealing with the whole coming into the world of your own and discovering new things?
Well, at 13, I think is pretty much when we switched and moved, and I started at a new school that I had never been at before. So I went from a school that I did elementary school from kinder through 6th, hit 7th, went to a totally new district, had to make new friends, but they're all friends that I still talk to this day.
Okay,
so that's
good.
kind of a nice thing.
So
I didn't know
this is a
about
high school or a middle school?
Middle school, 7th
Okay.
grade. Yeah, so it was 7th, 8th, Palm Middle School.
It's okay. We could drop names. It's all right.
Yeah. So I went there and, I became friends with pretty much the people I met the first day of school. I became good friends with, and I still talk to all of them almost
That's
every
awesome.
single day to now. We're in a group chat on Facebook Messenger, and we're all over the country now. We got one that's still here, one that sold everything when the pandemic hit. She was an RN. She sold everything. They bought an RV.
Wow.
And they've just been traveling ever since.
Really? So just decided to kind of retire early, or just
Pretty. I mean, she's worried about going back, but yeah, they were like, we're not going to have any kids. It's just us.
Yeah.
Why are we still
not?
here?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of everything. And they up and left. And
That's
they just
cool.
Yeah, it's
That's ballsy. You know, people, guys have always had that little inclination in the back of their heads that always tell them, just go.
I don't think that's just men, because as a woman, I've thought that a lot.
I guess so. Yes. But, it's the old, like, dad went to go buy a pack of smokes and never came back.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go get some milk.
Yeah, it's more common with guys because, we get that little bit of, like, I just want to go where the wind goes and, just forget about everything else and start over again, But it's cool to kind of, like, know somebody that's actually done it or
and
just
they love
decided
it.
to pick up
do these
and go.
things called
What is it?
nomad meetups.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so they, like, find them. I don't know how they find them, but they find other people, they pay some money, and they go on like a 5-day nomad meetup in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know what they're doing, but
getting along.
Yeah, they're getting along.
Whatever consenting adults do, that's whatever they do.
Yeah, so they have a good time. And then another one of them that I've been friends with since 7th grade lives in Orlando now. So.
Nice. It's cool that you mentioned the whole RV life. I've been actually seeing this YouTube videos of van conversions where people are just taking their old vans and converting them into kind of little mini RVs where, they got little sinks and toilets and showers and beds. Pretty cool. Like, I'd love to do it. Yeah?
I would love to sell everything and do that, but the kids won't let me. At least the teenagers,
There's some good episodes. So people that have done it and they're actually living it.
Yeah.
This one girl, she, I guess, had like several million views, and it was pretty cool. It was like what not to do. And I was like, okay, I get the whole not to do stuff, but the stuff that she was doing, it looked really cool and interesting. But it also is kind of discouraging because you do have to kind of deal with a lot of things. So I was like, all right, I get it. But it'd be fun to do for like a week or 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I would. I don't think I could do the van conversion, but I could definitely buy a motorhome.
Yeah.
If I had a little bit more room. I have like a tab opened on my phone.
I think the whole van conversion thing is because it's cheaper. They were you could buy a used whatever van for like $8,000 and do a conversion for like 10 or 15,000.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and so as opposed to the other ones that are like 40, 50,000, maybe more. I don't know. But I'm not the expert. I don't know.
I've looked into it a lot. So I like the larger ones, but that's because I have a larger family. So me and my husband always talk about it like, okay, well, maybe once the bigger kids are out of high school in the next 4 years, maybe we can do it with the twins.
Yeah.
And just homeschool and just travel and live off the land in a sense, but just to save
cool
some
idea.
money. Because, you know, living in California at this point,
I know.
I'm over it. I've been over it for many years. He will not leave. He loves the weather. He loves the weather and I guess the beach. I don't think that that's enough to stay, but you know,
I've in the last couple years, because like how you were saying, you have friends across all of across the country. We actually did a visit to a friend of ours in Minnesota, and then another one recently. He lives in Portland. And we're looking to visit more friends that are across everywhere. And I don't know. It's like for us, because we're traveling buddies. I have my friends we've gone to. It's just the same everywhere as it is here. You know, if anything, it's kind of nicer. It's a little bit more spread out. Not as crowded as it is here. Not as much traffic as it is here. And you're probably not dealing with a whole lot of rude people here. You know, it's like out there a little nicer. Maybe manners.
I think it just depends on... It's not just politics, but the weather. Like you said, you went to Minnesota, so I'm sure that gets a lot of snow half the year. Oregon, I hear, is really bad, like California, when it comes to the homelessness issue. There was.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when we were out there downtown Portland, it was like Skid Row. I don't know if you ever gone to the Walking Dead, area that it's is Skid Row.
Terrible. When we went up to San Francisco to visit my husband, because he travels a lot for work, we went up to San Francisco to visit him because he was working nearby in Palo Alto. And I'm taking the kids to go, check out landmarks in San Fran, and all across where the metro is, tent city. Just hundreds of tents. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is one of the most expensive places to live in all of California.
Yep.
I mean, I have an aunt that lives in San Francisco. She's had the house since the 70s. She owns it. Bought it for $200-something thousand. It's worth $3 million now. It's on Bryant Street. And she's like, yeah, we could sell it and make some money, but we can't even afford to move anywhere else here. So we just stay and, you suck it up. But it's bad. It's bad statewide. And like you said, in Oregon, I know parts of Seattle and stuff, you have a really large homeless problem there too. But I personally don't know how to fix it. I mean...
I don't know. I mean, the people do shelters. People do, mental health programs to help them, turn their lives around. Obviously, rehab places.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I mean, it's someone once told me this. It's the reason why you have such rampant homelessness in L.A. and San Francisco. It's decent weather.
Yep.
B,
absolutely.
That's where the money's at. So you're more likely to, deal with people that probably have like a little bit of a conscience that they're like, oh yeah, here's a couple bucks, so there's that.
Totally about the weather for sure.
Yeah.
And if they can stay 365 and not have to worry about rain, they're gonna do it. Versus,
well, I can only imagine like places like Chicago or really cold places. It's like they just don't,
Yeah, you get snow.
Yeah, you got snow, exactly. You're not gonna deal with a whole lot of homelessness out there.
No. Yeah. But yeah, I do like that we do have some of those mental things, but I personally feel that most of the homeless are on drugs, and they're not going to want to get help unless it's on their terms, and half of them don't want to do it. It's a choice. So
yeah, I think so. It comes to choice at that point. It's like some people are happy that way, I guess.
Yeah, they don't have to work.
Yeah, they don't have to work. Exactly. Just collect whatever check they receive or whatever assistance they get from panhandling, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So how about you? Let's talk a little bit more about you. Tell us a little something more. You said you're mom of 4, married. Tell us more. Like, where did you grow up?
I was born in Riverside.
Okay.
Pretty much after I was born, I think we moved around a lot, but came back to Riverside. Yeah, we would go up to like Victorville, Apple Valley. I think that's where my sister was born.
Oh, okay.
And then came back to Riverside, and then we moved to Moreno Valley.
Well, remind me again, it's just you two? Siblings?
We have 2 half siblings.
Oh, 2 half
My
siblings.
dad was married before he married my mom.
Gotcha.
And we have a sister and a brother from that marriage. So they're 10 and 12 years older than I.
Oh, okay.
And we don't really talk to our brother. He's a lawyer in Northern California. And our sister we do talk to her through like Facebook and stuff because she lives in Florida as well.
Gotcha.
And she's a private chef on yachts. So she's like below deck.
Dude, that's awesome.
It really is awesome. When she shows us the videos, I'm
Yeah.
like, you're just living your best life. And she didn't even start it till like late in her 30s.
Wow.
So she just...
Yeah, it's never too late to just
never
follow
too
your
late.
passions.
Yeah, so she does that. And then there's me and my sister, and we're close here. I mean, I hung out with her today. And then, we moved around a lot, moved to Marina Valley, and then once I had my kids, I moved back to Riverside. So I live out there. I've been with my husband since I was 18.
That's a long time.
I've known him since I was 15.
Wow. So even further back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time.
How did you guys meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Through mutual friends in high school.
Okay. So just randomly
just hanging out.
Showed up and just, hey, what's up?
Yeah. I didn't know he had a crush on me for a while.
Okay.
And then one day it just like changed.
Okay. So he's the one that approached that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then, now we got married and had 4 kids. And now we're at 18 years together.
That's awesome, man. I know it's as we were just talking off topic before the podcast, it was just like living in single world now. It's kind of like hard for us to imagine that.
It is crazy. We went to a comedy show like a week or 2 ago. And all the ladies that were talking on this comedy show were all single. And it was like shocking to hear like the jokes that they were saying and what
Really?
like the standard is for men today.
Mm-hmm. The bar is really low.
Blew my mind. And then the girls that we were with, 2 of us, 3 of us were married, and 2 of the other ladies are single. And they were like, "Oh, she's spot on." And one of the big things, I don't even want to say it because it's just so disgusting.
No, go ahead.
But one of the things was that men expect now to have their buttholes licked.
Wow, is that a thing?
I see.
No, I've heard it the other way around. I've heard it like chicks are more into it, like this younger generation of millennials and Gen Zs. They're all about like, eating ass.
That is so weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know about guys though.
Yeah, no, they were
there's
like,
probably some low key dudes that are probably like digging it, but not Icer.
It tripped me out, and I was like, wow, this is blowing my mind. And then I was like, I could not be single now because I would not do that, especially on a first date.
Yeah. Well, I remember years back, I read this article or some probably YouTube video just discussing about first dates and this and that and what's expected on a first date. And I guess like one of the expectations is just a blowjob. I was like,
wow,
really? I was like, damn.
I never thought I was a prude.
Yeah.
Until right now.
I know. It's great. The world has changed. And you know what it is?
Yeah.
We're like how we were talking about. I think it's this whole access to the internet and porn and how it's just kind of warped people's perspective
Absolutely.
on love and affection and validation.
Instant. I think they have an instant gratification. Like,
Yes.
everybody's distracted so quickly.
Yes.
Like if they don't see it right then and they're not into it right then and there, they move on.
Poop.
And so I
It's
think
like they treat people like an app, like I'm going to swipe you away.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
it's like
okay,
you're all
next
humans.
person.
This
Yeah.
is it's crazy to me. It makes me sad, honestly, for like my children and everybody's children's, because as they're getting older, that's what they're going to have to deal with.
Yes.
And they're living in it right now, and it's scary to me that that's going to become the new normal, where people are going to feel pressured to keep somebody by like, oh, we're on a first date. Oh, I bought you Taco Bell. Like, yeah, let's go back to the car. This is going to be real quick.
I need some gratification. I need some validation, that kind
like,
of thing.
Whatever
like,
happened to
no.
just like having a conversation, seeing if you kind of click maybe, and then moving on from there and having a second date before like going straight to a blowjob.
The world has gotten so much more faster.
Yeah,
it's like
it's so scary.
if I don't get what I want right here and then bye.
Yeah.
It's like people are so disposable.
Exactly.
It's like I think maybe that's the case because everything we're treating everything else as disposable.
Absolutely.
So
and it's a me
kinda
mentality. I think a lot of people are like me. I want this. This is
selfish.
it. If she's not going to give me this,
Yes.
then I'll go on. And if he's
I'll
not
go
going to
somewhere
provide
else.
this,
Yes.
and
fun fact, no matter what, you're not going to be perfect, and the person you're with isn't perfect.
no.
And yeah, you could always choose, find something bigger, better, brighter, and shinier. But at the end of the day, it just matters the connection you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
And just trying to build a relationship on a foundation of just a communication base at
just
the least.
at minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I forgot who I was having this conversation, but I was telling the same thing. It's like when you're out there being single, it's like just start off by having a friendship, you know? Like, you got to have that communication.
Yeah.
Because when you stop having communication and, you know, being friends, you know, it's like that's when problems start to fester and shit starts to linger and you create animosity and you get angry and then you throw out your frustration at the person that's there.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're in the room, just because they're the easy target.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, you're like, I told you this. I didn't hear you say that.
You know?
And it's like,
you got to be patient with people's shortcomings. No one's perfect.
No, nobody's perfect.
I keep saying that. So it's like, just be patient.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have patience.
No, and that's why I think a lot of people just break up because then they're like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's easier.
He didn't listen. You know, he didn't want to do this, and I tried to tell him or whatever, whatever the case is, and then they just say, okay, call it quits.
Call it quits.
I'm just gonna try somebody else.
Exactly.
Which is crazy to me because it's just like so I literally could not even imagine trying to navigate the single world.
It's saturated. You know, it's I could only speak on the outside looking in.
Absolutely. Same here.
Because,
we've both been.
But I hear the horror stories. I hear, you know, honestly, it's from guys have it easier. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but they do. It seems women have more of the competition, more of the challenge, and the ones that hold out probably end up holding out for a long time.
Yeah.
You know? So it's tough out there.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart goes out to all the single women out there.
Yeah. Mine do too. So I empathize, I sympathize.
But I will state that if you are single and you're trying to find somebody, I think instead of going to Tinders or Bumble or Plenty of Fish, I would say go to things that you enjoy doing, like bands you're enjoying or concerts you like to go to or events you like, and go there and find somebody of common interest and start off a conversation that way. Like, oh, you like, you know, the Dodgers. Okay, go to a Dodgers game. Maybe you'll find somebody else who likes, obviously, who likes baseball and likes the Dodgers. And
obviously,
like,
they're there.
Right? Like, that's what I, like, if I was single, that's what I would do. I'd be going out looking at
just go to a convention or something, you know, like comic book convention, like Comic-Con. You know, find a nerd just like you.
Yeah, right.
Someone that's just as goofy as you.
Yeah, so. And nerds are cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, awesome. So, all right, let's open up to some questions so we can better get to know you with some questions. Usually I like to go at the 20-minute mark, but we're close enough. So let me see. Where's this little mouse cursor? Because I can't even... Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to pick at random one of these 200-plus questions I have here. So we'll start with number... right here. What star sign are you?
I am a Pisces.
Okay. Now, are you into the whole horoscope and astrology type?
I am a little bit. I can't. I have really shitty memory. Okay. So I don't remember everything as much as I should. But I will tell you a fun fact that me and my husband are both Pisces, and we are 6 days apart. So the fact that we are still married is insane because of that. Just that lone fact. My daughter.
Do you guys, find yourself having similarities?
We're both very, very sensitive. So that's probably our big... And we're both...
I think that's just a human quality.
Yeah.
We're all just sensitive. Some hide it better than others.
Yeah, we don't hide it. So that's probably our thing. We don't hide it. We're very sensitive. And we both like a lot of sports.
Right on.
We do that a lot. Him much more than I, but that's because he has a gambling problem with it.
Gotcha. I bet. Hey, it makes it better. Makes it more interesting to watch.
Oh, yeah. No, he's on DraftKings every day.
I bet. All right, question number 2. How about this one here? If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. One piece is tough because I would want to just do a whole lecture.
No. Just the one.
One piece
That's why I
of
like
advice.
it.
Okay.
What would stand out? Because obviously the first thing you think of is probably the one thing you really want to get across.
The way you're feeling right now is temporary, and don't react to what you're feeling right in that moment and think about the future. Just think about the future and how it's going to affect yourself later in life. I could go into a more elaborate one.
You could elaborate more, but that pretty much because you do have to have that wisdom to kind of see a few more steps ahead.
I feel like you think you know everything. You're like, I'm 18, Mom. Like, back off. I know what I'm doing right now. And then the next thing is, I really hated that job. I'm just going to quit it. F it. I want to go out with my friends this weekend. I'm not going to... They're not going to give me the day off. So, I think that temporary moment, maybe it's what the kids call now FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yes.
You know?
That's a real thing.
Yeah. So I think I had a big FOMO when I was 18. Like I wanted to do everything.
I actually did that. It's funny you mentioned that because there was a group of friends of mine while I was at work, went to this huge party, and I missed out. There was a big old fight and everything, and I was like, man, I should, I felt really bad because I couldn't be there for them, for that, obviously to help my brothers, fight off whoever was fighting them. I don't know, but my thought was like, well, fuck this job. I don't need it. I'm only doing it just for extra cash.
Right.
I already saved up enough money. I'm only 18.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
See, that was my mentality. And if I could
me.
go back, I would have been like,
that's most kids probably.
yeah, that's why I say like,
no wisdom.
Huh.
Still learning the wisdom. So
yeah.
So.
You think you know everything.
All right, next question. Hey, how about this one here? How did you meet your spouse and significant other? I think, well, no, we already asked that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a technical thing. Because I met him through his brother.
Okay.
Going to his house to buy drugs.
Okay.
From his brother. And, which was funny because his brother, I was really good friends with in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And he wrote in my yearbook in 8th grade and was like, this is the only yearbook I'll ever sign. Mm-hmm. And then, years later, I went to his house and we're, buying some weed. And my husband comes out and like says hi, and he always jokes like, you were coming to my house to buy weed. You were a drug addict.
It's funny you say like, I went to go buy drugs. It was like, well, weed, now it's kind of becoming the whole beer thing where it's like, it's legal. That stigma's kind of gone away. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't think we should associate that little tag with weed. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just,
it's going away.
Weed. It wasn't like I was buying acid. Yeah. Let's go do it. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I met him.
Okay. Hey, here's a good one right here. If you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose?
Oh, Nikola Tesla. Absolutely. Hands down.
Okay. I want to know. Why?
He fascinates me.
Yes.
The fact that he wanted to give the entire world free energy. Yeah. And he died a poor man. And he wanted to just help the world, like with no benefit to himself, just to benefit the humanity.
Exactly.
I would have loved to have had conversations with him.
That, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of where I would have gone too. So hey, good for you on that one. Fuck.
Yeah. Definitely. We could. He was obviously
for a bonus historical figure.
Okay.
Who would be a second one?
Oh.
Just curious.
Maybe Harriet Tubman.
Okay. Interesting.
And hear about, her life.
Many stories to tell. I remember just hearing just the incredible journey she did just to escape and just go up north. But then the fact that she did it again. Yeah. And again. And
Perseverance.
Again. And again. And again. And it was like, wow. That's crazy.
So that's probably another one.
That's crazy.
Our history and our
I love history. So
yeah.
I'm a huge history nerd. So
absolutely, I get into that. I get into a lot of religion stuff in my head. So those are my two things that I geek out on.
Just before you got here, we were watching a YouTube video on this YouTube channel called Oversimplified. Mm-hmm. It's just oversimplified regarding prohibition and just where it started, like the root of it, the little grassroots movement back in 1873.
Yeah, I'll have to check out that channel.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love it.
I went on a rabbit hole last night on Buddhism. And I was like, man, maybe I need to become a Buddhist. I was like, because I'm an atheist. But
teaches patience.
Yeah, and like not having an attachment to material objects, which I've tried a lot.
I find a good correlation between Buddhism and Jedi Order.
I could see that.
It's very much calmness and
you're Star Wars
patience. Yes,
I'm a Trekkie.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull out my lightsaber over here. I'm gonna.
The storyline on a Star Trek is a lot more just in depth.
I've tried giving Star Trek a chance.
Oh man, what's funny is that growing up, my mom's a sci-fi geek, and growing up she'd have it all, what was it, UPN back in the day or whatever they played Star Trek on.
Yeah, the Next Generation.
All of them. She watched them, and me and my sister freaking hated it. And then now I'm like, oh my god, Amazon, is it Amazon Prime or Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus
has all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I highly recommend giving it another chance.
I don't know. I just don't know where to start. I mean, it's just a lot. It just seems a lot of it's pretty much the same, but not really the same. It's just different storylines.
Well, you could try with the movies. That would probably be with the Chris
Pine.
I've
seen all of those ones, and those are cool. I like those.
I wish they would elaborate a little bit more. See, I'm going to geek out right now, but like when they go to different planets, and it's like, oh, they can't see your spaceship. They're not as
Yeah,
evolved
they're not
yet.
allowed yet.
They're still like very
Yeah.
very cavemanish.
Yeah, and I
in a
think that
sense.
was the opening scene of the second one.
Yeah, when he drops down. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the whole like, hey, they can't see you kind of thing. So yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, so I can totally geek out on that all day long.
All right, let's go on to our next one. How about this one? What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. Well, my sister would say that it's when people run late. I guess, but
Well, don't you run late?
Not well. Since I've had the twins, kind of, but not usually. I usually don't run late, but I would say probably pet peeve. I mean, gosh. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't really feel like I have a pet peeve. I really don't.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that one because it's like that's my pet peeve is time and people wasting my time and not being efficient with time. It's well, that's probably mostly because of my career is just based on managing time and things have to be on schedule and keeping things on schedule. And so it's very
What's your title?
time coordination. Well, right now it's director of operations.
Okay.
But, I started with just being in the field and it was always that mentality. If you're on time, you're late. If you're 10 minutes early, you're on time.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I guess it would be time, I guess. My sister always said, I mean, the last time me and her got in a big fight, I was pregnant with the twins and it was because she was running late. It drove me insane and we never fight. And our big fight was...
Well, shit happens.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've come to realize, too. It's like you can't control a lot of the things, so people are going to be late. But, yeah, it still doesn't stop you from being bothered.
That's why I tried. That's why I'm like, I really don't have a pet peeve now because I'm kind of at that mentality of, like, everybody's got their own thing going on. Everybody needs to do what they need to do for their own lives. So I'm not going to interfere. I don't care if somebody's like, oh, I can't make it. Okay, totally. You don't even have to give me an excuse. Like... I can't make it sometimes too, so shit happens, like you said.
Or sometimes I'll be sitting here and I'll be honest, I'll be like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna chill at home because I'm not feeling it. I don't want to go out. Why am I gonna make up an excuse? We're like, well, my wife doesn't, and that's funny. We'll use each other as an excuse. We'll be like, oh, Jesse has to do this, so I got to go with him. Or like, oh, Amanda has. Well, we've pulled those excuses because I think that's what married people do. We're a package deal. So,
yeah, it's a scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly. But most of the times now, I'm just honest with my friends. I'm like, you know what, dude, I just don't want to go.
Yeah.
Or just not feeling it. I'm tired. I'm old now. So it's like, I could throw that excuse out there. Or not even an excuse. It's a reason.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go.
Exactly.
That's how, you shouldn't feel obligated.
We're mature enough to understand, like, hey, that's fine. I'm not going to beg you to come or, it's okay. I understand. Because sometimes I feel the same way too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go on to the next one. How about this one? Tell me about the 3 most influential people in your life and how they impacted you.
3? Interesting. I would definitely say both of my parents. I mean, hands down, to your parents.
Okay.
My mom is the most patient person I've ever met in my entire life. Hands down. Like, it's shocking. And my dad is the smartest person I've ever met. So... kind of watching them together. The only time my mom wouldn't get patient is with my father when they would watch Jeopardy and they would fight over because my dad was the guy
over the answers.
Oh, absolutely. My dad can name them all. My mom can name about 75% of them, but my dad would do this little thing where he'd be like, "You didn't say what is or who is."
Very technical.
Yeah,
about
so he gets very technical. So that was very entertaining. But they impacted me. I mean, they're your parents.
I think parents do. Yeah, they're like your first teacher.
Yeah.
So
I would say them for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
They obviously they raised me.
So we count them as 1 and 2, or how about we count them as one group?
I would count. I guess they're parents. So technically, there's 2 human beings, but together they made one.
Package deal, like we were just talking.
Package deal, right? My best friend Megan.
Okay.
I met her when I was in 7th grade, and even then, she was a very wise teenager. Not like anybody else I've ever met, even to this day.
Yeah.
She's, I don't want to say spoke her mind, because I feel like a lot of people think they do, but they're confrontational. She was never confrontational.
Yeah.
She was very open of being like, I don't think what you're doing is right.
Yeah.
And she impacted me. I mean, I talk to her every day to this day. So she's a very influential person in my life.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because, I feel like, definitely your friends because they're that always with you kind of thing. And kind of reflecting back on it myself, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's because I've had a few friends that like were very important and influencing me.
Oh yeah, you
as
have
far as
tons of
growing up,
memories and
because I think you strive to kind of be some of them sometimes. So it's like they're kind of the example as well.
yeah,
too.
her thing would be for me is like how
Yeah.
she was so easily able to like
How
tell
you
somebody
carry yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And she had that down to a pat at a very young age. And I was impressed because I was like so self-conscious growing up and like second guessing everything I would say. And then I go home and I'm like, why did I say that? Why would I do that? I'm probably going to do it after this podcast.
That's teenagers. Teenagers, we insecure about what our decisions, what our outfits are, what our words are. Everything is like just insecure just because you're still trying to fit in. You're still trying to discover who you are. And so it's kind of cool when you're that young and you meet those friends that have like this weird confidence.
They stick out to you for sure.
Yeah, just have this confidence and can elaborate and articulate, you know, just a good way that you kind of strive to be. So
yeah, and I'm lucky
feel
that I still have her, to this day. So she's impacted my life for sure. And I guess, because I had my parents as one. What's another one?
Yeah. Number 3.
Probably my firstborn child. I had her when I was 20.
Okay.
So we kind of grew up at the same.
Oh, were you really that young? How old is she then?
She's about to be 16.
16.
Yeah, I'm 36.
She's your oldest?
She's my
I
oldest.
thought she was already like.
She looks.
I thought she was older. Yeah.
Oh, everybody.
Well, I think
because
these
older.
kids just dress much older. It ain't like how it was when we were younger.
No, totally not. And she's a lot more confident than I was, so I would never wear what she wears. I'm like, oh, damn, girl. Okay, get it. But yeah, she impacted my life. And the funny fact I always tell everybody, because even she doesn't believe me, is we planned her. When I got pregnant at 20. I like got off the birth control and I was like, we're gonna start a family.
Gonna have a family. Yeah.
Fucking life hit me in the head. We're still together and and everything because that's young. A lot of people my age that had kids at that time are not with their spouses or the father of their child or vice versa. So definitely her. She's a great kid though.
That's awesome.
So I got pretty lucky. She's very open. Tells me everything.
That's good. As you should. You should have those kind of open conversations with your kids about everything. I know a lot of parents, they struggle just to find that middle ground.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So, I honestly, I look back, I don't think I ever had those growing pains moments of conversations of like, come here, buddy, let's have a conversation. It's like, I think our generation was probably a little different.
No, I hid everything from my parents, which is funny because as I got older and I was like, Mom, I got to tell you what I did. And she'd be like, you're a freaking idiot. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how I made it out alive, We
were just hanging out at my parents the other day and I was just kind of telling them stories about me sneaking out of the house. And I was like, yeah, that whole fence or the whole screen thing on the window. Yeah, I knocked it over and just got out, snuck out. I got pulled over by the cops like a dozen times.
Oh my gosh.
And I got away with like half of them. So
nice.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I've never been pulled over, knock on wood.
Oh, knock on wood.
In my life.
I was very lucky. Just one thing I just remember, just a buddy of mine. He was much older when he was always teaching me. He was the one that taught me how to drive. He was like, yeah, dude, like if you ever get pulled over, just be nice. Treat them with so much respect, like everything, and just be nice, and you'll be surprised, how much
a lot of them will be pretty chill.
Yeah,
I could see that, but I have caught myself on YouTube watching those people like, I have rights.
I like that too. So it's like, yeah,
I would never do that. I'm like, I don't have the balls for that.
Exactly, because I don't know the law. I don't know. Can I say that?
No,
I just know you have the right to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they're like section 742-9.
Yeah. Oh, the penal code.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember. I can't remember what I ate yesterday for dinner. So
exactly.
Let alone penal codes.
Yeah, exactly. So just be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice, and people will be nice back to you.
Heck yeah.
And it's kind of the reverse or the same effect for negativity. If you're an asshole, you're probably going to get an asshole response.
Yeah, kill them with kindness, though.
Exactly.
I get it. It kind of goes with your whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be nice to everybody.
Be nice, yeah.
Doesn't hurt to be nice. It literally costs zero.
Put your ego aside. Put your pride aside. And I think a lot of people, they can't do that. They can't let that go.
I have no problem. With that personally. I'm like very nice. I'm one of those pay it forward people. That's my thing. Pay it forward.
There you go.
Like my husband the other day, he was like, "Why did you spend $60 at Chipotle?" And I was like, oh, I totally had forgot that I had bought a gift card and gave it to the next couple right behind me to buy their food. And he's like, why would you do that? Stuff costs money. And I'm like, I was just paying it. Literally, that was my mindset was just, I thought of it in the moment, pay it forward.
Yeah.
If I have the extra funds, help somebody else out. And I feel like if everybody just did something like that just to help somebody else out, it'd make the world a better place.
It would, but unfortunately, we just live in such a selfish world.
Unfortunately.
It happens. But what are we going to do? Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
That's all you can do is to make your little slice of the world better. It starts with you. Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
Absolutely. It starts with you. And if you can change somebody else's mind and perspective to be a better person, then my job's done.
There you go.
I try to do it with my kids. They always tell me, like, what do you want me to be, Mom? I'm like, I don't care what you want to be. Like, yeah, I want you to, be successful, but my biggest thing is for you guys to just be happy, healthy, and truly happy. When I say happy, exactly. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, like, just take the time to find what you enjoy. And
you know what's the trick to being happy?
Is there a trick?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
Don't care about what other people think. If you stop caring about what other people think, what matters is what you think. That's the trick.
You think so? I don't know.
So. That is it. I mean, because if it makes you happy, that's all that matters is that it makes you happy. Doesn't matter if it bothers somebody. It's like, just if you're happy, that's all that matters. Who cares what other people think? So you find what makes you happy. And that's how you keep the happiness.
Yeah.
It's just don't care about what other people think. People are too concerned about it, my thing.
No, I think a lot of people are too concerned. I think with the social media, if you go back and circle back to that, it's kind of like everybody sees what other people are doing. And then they're like, oh, they look so happy. Yeah. I need to emulate that. And it's like, that's just a very edited 30-second TikTok you saw there.
Yes.
So just
very
like
much.
You said, don't think about them, think about yourself, but not in a selfish way, but in more of a mindset way of freeing yourself, for sure.
Absolutely. Because I was watching this thing on Reddit where this guy is like, yeah, this is my life over here. Look at us. This picture perfect couple. And then it was like cuts to the video of like the wife being abusive and throwing things at him. And like, this is the reality. And this is what I had to do. I got restraining order, this and that. So it's like,
oh, wow. Yeah,
it's not always what you see. The world's full of illusions.
Oh, that's the quote of the century.
Yes. God, this world is full of illusions. That's why, I think that's why we're so fascinated with TV and movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's all make-believe. Yeah. It's all make-believe, Even now our social medias are make-believe.
Even all the reality shows are make-believe. They're
make-believe. Everything is. Yeah, fairy tales. We've been fascinated with stories since the beginning of time.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a lot of the stories have been elaborated, so the truth gets lost. But the message is still the same.
Yeah. And like I just realized my husband's a really big Jim Rome fan.
Okay.
And he just started a new like mental podcast that I just found yesterday, which was the Reinvention. That's what it's, Reinvention of Jim Rome. And his big thing was that, like, to let go. And I lost my train of thought there, so just please edit that.
Let it go. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Let it go. And honestly, that's been my mantra forever, by the way.
Yeah.
It started before fucking Frozen turned it into a song, but it was literally let it go.
Let it go.
Because a lot of times we do hold on to anger, animosity, aggression, all this stuff that just serves no purpose.
A lot of people do. I have family members that do, and it shocks me because I'm like, they're family. Especially when it comes to family, it's like some people are like, no, even if they're family, you can cut them off.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of not in that mindset personally. I'm like more like family is literally the most important thing to me, hands down. I want my family. Like, I want them around. I want to make them happy. I want to eat dinner with them. So,
yeah, exactly.
So people need to let things go because some people say very hurtful things when they're upset, including family
and they
members.
don't mean it. A lot of the times they're just, I remember I had this argument one time, with an old ex, and it was just like, later on we became cool, and it's like, hey, well, why did you say those things? Oh, I never meant them because I was just so angry
in the moment,
and in the moment, but I regret, I never meant it, but I was just going out for blood. It's like, when you get so just, blindsided with anger and just rage, you don't think.
But then you feel bad about it when you hear how it affected somebody later. Yeah. So then you have to deal with that, for yourself. But then at the same time, you want to be like, well, you should you shouldn't have taken it seriously. Let it go.
Oh yeah, let it go. Yeah, like it means nothing. Like let it go. Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of like a double-edged sword in those type of situations. Because I'm guilty of it even with my husband. Like I love him to death.
Oh, I know.
Soulmate, whatever, all that stuff. I've said some really fucked up things to him in our 18 years together. You know what I mean? in the moment, you thought you meant them. And then later he's like, brings it up. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean that. I'm just a dick. And like you said, I went out for blood. And then I made the mistake of telling him recently on one of those, I was like, I just fight dirty. And then he went, well, then I can fight dirty too. And then now it's just become our joke. Thank God. It's just turned into like a joke where we're just like, fight dirty.
That's the best. If you could include that humor of that's what, again, it always helps to be friends. So that way you have that understanding. Like, yes, it's just a big joke. Like, let's not take life serious.
And the ability to apologize when you know you've done something wrong.
Yes.
And I'm good at that now. But, you know, it's taken.
But be authentic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will say, well, I'm sorry.
Just to say
like, just to say, just like, all right, let's just get over it. Not really mean it. I've known friends too that have kind of said similar things about their significant other regarding that. It's like, well, they apologized, but it was kind of like it just happened. It's like you weren't being sincere.
That's why I always say, like, if you're gonna say I'm sorry, now I do it with my kids, so I'm kind of guilty of it. Maybe it's the mom in me, but I'll be like, I'm sorry for what? And then they gotta state what it was. But relationships are hard. Let's do another question, yeah?
All right, let's do one more. How about this one? What are 3 movies you'd recommend to my audience and why?
You're going to figure out who my sister is with this. Bedazzled.
Okay. Great fucking movie, by the way.
It's hilarious. The quotes in it. Brendan Fraser, who's making his comeback now. Yeah. Even though if you haven't seen him in Condor season 1, fantastic.
Is that a TV show?
It was. It used to be on Audience Network on DirecTV, but then it got switched. You can watch it on Prime through Epix channel. Great show if you like conspiracies and the government not having your back, which is not a conspiracy, it's really facts, but that's just me on another level. But great show. Highly recommend it. Season 1's fantastic.
Okay.
And Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser, full circle there. Yes,
that's
great
one.
actor. Yes, number 1. What's another movie that I recommend to my audience? I like a lot of comedies.
Give me something good. What are your the first one you think of?
Bowfinger.
Bowfinger, really? You know what? I don't think I've ever seen that one. It just seemed too goofy as hell to watch. Oh my God.
Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin. Yeah. How do you not? They're freaking comedic geniuses.
They are, but his character seemed too goofy. The premise seemed very...
it's hilarious.
Very weak. So to me, it just seemed like, all right, he's a goofy guy trying to act.
No, that's not what it is.
What is it?
It's Steve Martin's trying to film... Steve Martin's a director. He created a movie, and he can't get Eddie Murphy to play it. So he gets his twin brother, who's goofy... to be his stand-in. So they film the scenes where it's the real Eddie Murphy without his knowledge, and they're like following him, and he starts to think he's like having a psychotic break because he thinks someone's stalking him, but because they really are, because they're filming the movie, and it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, but again, the premise just didn't seem that strong to me.
It's ridiculous, but it's better than...
Give me a Farrelly Brothers movie anytime.
I do like
I love those.
I like those. I thought you were going to say Will Ferrell, because I'm not a Will Ferrell fan.
He's okay. He only started being funny to me later in life, where I was like, okay, I could appreciate his earlier work, because I guess his earlier work I wasn't too big of a fan, how people were turning it almost into this is the next big guy.
Yeah, they would say Step Brothers. My brother-in-law loves that movie. I think it's fucking stupid. And Talladega Nights, I couldn't even finish it. So that's how I don't like that stupid but Bowfinger's hilarious. Bedazzled, hilarious. Ole Juan, ole Esteban, donde está la biblioteca?
Donde está la biblioteca? I love that he just ripped a little mustache off. That's what sold it to me.
That shit's fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen it, audience, go watch Bedazzled.
Okay, I might give Bowfinger a chance, because I never watched it.
Just give it a chance.
I'll give it a chance where I'm gonna be totally unbiased. Yeah. And I'm just gonna all right, I'm just gonna watch it, and I'll see what happens. See how I react.
Yeah, just watch the whole thing, because you're going to be like, she's fucking dumb. But I swear, it's not just me. My parents love it. Okay. Maybe that's another thing.
Well, is that the thing? Just because it's so dumb, it's actually funny? Is that how you're looking at it? Through the looking glass?
No, because there's just funny things. You just catch them.
Okay. Is this... Because I like witty humor.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
A good, smart humor. Airplane, when fucking Leslie Nielsen.
I love Airplane. Yeah. So, I mean, that's I like that kind of humor.
That Leslie Nielsen, just kind of oh shit, that was so great. The way he sold it.
I even enjoyed Hot Shots Part 2.
Part 2, yeah. I like the first one better, though.
Yeah, they're great. So it's up there with those type of... I like comedy movies. What else do I like? Do I watch? I've watched The Help, many times. I enjoy that movie. I'll watch it.
That's a comedy?
It's not a comedy. I'm going... I was going to wait a minute. No, this is not a comedy. This is about civil rights in the 60s.
I was like, wait a minute. How is that funny?
No, but comedies, yeah. No, but 3
Never
movies...
Seen that one.
You've never seen The Help?
No.
With Viola Davis and Jessica Chastain.
Yes, I know who's in it.
Jessica Chastain, that's the first
What was
movie
that
I
other
ever-
girl that was in it? She was
Emma
in
Stone.
Emma Stone. There you go.
Yeah, Emma Stone's in it.
Yes.
Jessica Chastain in it is fantastic, and it's probably one of the main reasons I love that movie.
Molly's Game. She is amazing.
Yeah,
in that.
she was great in that movie. She's a great actress. I enjoy her.
Damn,
so,
that was great.
And 3 movies. I love Raising Arizona, though. That's probably...
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan.
What was I never remember the premise. Wasn't it like something with a kid?
His wife can't have kids, so they kidnap one from a lady who has a ton of babies, like
Oh
6
my God.
triplets. That's great.
That was like his early work, wasn't it? Wasn't it in like the 80s?
His best work. Valley Girl, Leaving Las Vegas, Peggy Sue.
No, but I'm thinking that one.
It's
wasn't
80s.
that early?
It's like
early
86,
80s?
maybe 85.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's the Coen brothers.
Really?
Yes.
Coen Brothers, huh? Wow. I'll have to check it out.
Yep. And I like Fargo too. I can go on. I'm a movie person.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah. So I can do like I love Fargo. I even like the series. That's my big thing. That's my enjoyment is I can go to a movie by myself and I enjoy myself. Like, what's my hobby? I'll go to a movie. Fuck all these kids.
Okay.
Let me go to a movie by
What
myself.
about TV shows?
Oh, I watch a lot, but my thing is now
Well,
that
what are your top 3 that stand out?
I don't think I have a top 3.
I think the first ones that come to your mind are always going to be your top 3.
Oh, I mean, I
Right away, I mean, what's the first one that comes to your mind?
Homeland.
Okay.
I enjoyed Homeland, even though I haven't finished it.
That Claire Danes?
Yeah, even though her as a human being is garbage, but she's good in that show. You really learn to hate her. I love
I
Handmaid's
heard
Tale.
Homeland's good. Yeah. Handmaid's Tale. I
Handmaid's
try to
Tale.
give it 1 season. I can't even finish the season.
It's a lot. The first 2 seasons are a lot. Now that I think we're in season 5 right now. The revolution's about to begin.
Wow, it only took 5 seasons, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That's what Hulu wants to do. That's a
Just
money
milk
making.
it?
Yeah, I think a lot of production companies do that though. Another show. God, I watched a lot. I watched Stranger Things before it became popular. I enjoyed that
I liked
one.
it right off the bat. 'cause
Yeah, I
gave
loved
me
it.
that 80s vibe, and I love that little tone.
Soundtrack.
I think that
everything.
tone just really sells it to you.
Yeah, that
Kinda
was a good
that's-
one.
I think that's why everyone loved the Game of Thrones. Was like that opening intro was just dun 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 dun. Dun.
I was obsessed with Game of Thrones for about the first 4 seasons and then I quit.
You never finished it?
I never finished it. I had the twins. And once I had the twins, I was like,
You have to
I
finish
can't.
it.
You know what? The twins fucked my whole life up. Like, they threw me upside down. I missed out on all kinds of shows. So
Well,
I never
it's
finished that.
worth finishing.
Justin, my husband, finished it, but I never finished it. He would on
good.
Sundays. I just wouldn't call him.
Honestly, okay, so it raised the bar every season. So
Really?
it went from like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, and then I think it just set the bar so high that it's like one of those, like, doesn't matter how you end it, no one's gonna like it.
It was a stagnant ending.
It-
Well, that's
it
how I
was-
felt about
yeah,
Lost. I was
that's what it was.
obsessed with Lost.
I was too. I loved it.
I hated. The
I loved
ending.
it all the way through.
Yeah, I didn't like the
I
ending.
love, even though it was goofy as hell, it's like you weren't going to please everyone, but I like that they kind of gave some clarity, and I did like that they brought back a lot of the old cast members.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that. That I think a lot of people will never be satisfied because I know a lot of
Never.
people. I never watched The Walking Dead because I'm scared to death of scary shit.
So I like how they ended it with Sopranos. They just ended
Yeah.
it like just cut to black,
Yeah,
and then I like that was it. That's, you just never see it coming. It's like,
Sopranos was great. The Wire was great. A lot of HBO shows were really, really good.
you know, I did watch The Wire. I watched it all, and it wasn't as great as people said it
Oh
to be.
God, it was so good. Did you ever watch
wasn't.
Ray Donovan?
No, I saw bits of
Oh, my
it.
God. Watch Ray Donovan. Power.
Power, yeah, that's the other one that was what was that with 50 Cent, right?
Yeah, that one's really good. And then they just started a spin-off with the guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't started that one yet because I want to get fully up to.
I got to give props to the one I did just recently watch. And while I was in Chicago, it was a show about Chicago. The Bear.
Oh,
on
I finished
Hulu.
that one. That one's great. I love him.
liked it. I love the guy from Shameless.
Shameless
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I watched Shameless. See, I
Shameless
watched
too.
a lot of shows. That's why I'm
I
like,
watched them all too, yeah.
there's a bunch on Netflix that I
Run
binge
through?
them and run through, and then you forget about them because it takes a fucking year for the next season to come
Black
out.
Mirror, if you haven't seen that one.
I've watched some of Black Mirror, but Black Mirror makes me
so good.
sick because I feel like it's so real to
It
where we
is.
are now.
It's technologically like possible to be in
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
In that
Well-
weird little Twilight Zone era.
Did you see how?
Which one?
No, it's not. It's real. This is real life. I
Which
came
one?
across
What?
it on real life.
Okay, what?
The robots that killed the scientists.
No.
Three robots went rogue. They
No.
were able to shut 2 down. The third one learned it, and came back and killed 21 of the people in the office, in the
Holy
warehouse.
shit. No, I've never heard that.
I'm telling you, the shit's coming.
When was this? Where was this?
Less than a year ago.
I don't remember hearing about this ever.
Go on YouTube. See,
I got my ear to the ground on this, especially robots.
Yeah, no, it's robots. It's AI, and it's funny because that's even what Elon Musk comes back and says. The biggest, scariest thing right now is AI.
Yes, I absolutely believe that. So let's see.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a quick little.
See how I can find it. If I can see it on my YouTube as like a previously watched. That whiskey got you, bud.
I think so.
He put like 4 L's on kills. 29? It was something like that. I want to say 27 and 29.
Oops, drop the microphone. Let's see. Did a woman do?
Look at see.
Is that it?
I didn't see that video.
Did robots?
Oh, I would trust more of the Al Jazeera one, but it wasn't 3 years ago. But I do follow Al
Killer
Jazeera
robot scientists
English.
concerned over ethics over.
If you have Link TV, I highly recommend watching
Al
news on
Jazeera
there.
one.
Yeah, that's from Link TV. It's a really great, non-biased, political.
Oh, is it 29 scientists? Is that one it? Because I don't remember hearing about it. That's what's so crazy. There's people just doing.
That one looks like
I was waiting to see like a video of actually them killing.
No, there wasn't a video of it.
It.
It was a woman. I don't think it was that woman in the red that you got on that first one, but yes, very.
Well, I'll look into that because I'm very fascinated with that and the whole AI and we're going there. And
we are totally going there.
Yeah, they got those Boston Dynamic robots, man, that are just fucking crazy. They're doing backflips and gymnastic shit.
Oh yeah,
they just on a battery pack. So yeah, they got it down.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you drive one, so
yes.
When you're busy, do you use the autopilot a lot?
I do not. You have to pay like X amount of dollars for it.
Of course, fucking Elon Musk.
But it's worth it, I think.
And you think so? Well, they just talked about like all the new deaths on the autopilot. This month was 11.
Okay.
So that always scares me.
Well, that's because people just let it go.
That's what one of the articles I was reading about was saying, that it gave the driver 6 warnings to put their hands on the steering wheel, and they didn't, and he ended up crashing into the semi.
It's driving assistance. It ain't full autonomous.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that people are falling asleep, that's on them. They're being stupid. Crazy. There's one that actually saved the life because the lady fell asleep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But they really should not fall asleep.
No, but it'll give you the warnings, and then it'll slow down and pull over.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Do you love it?
I love my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fast, luxurious, and yeah, it has a bunch of bells and whistles. So
off topic, I'm going to ask you a question. How do you feel?
Go ahead.
About Newsom not wanting to have any more gas-powered vehicles come 2035? Yeah.
Because that's my business, what I do. I'm in the new construction business that installs electric vehicle infrastructure.
Okay.
So I'm for it.
For it. Well, my husband's in renewable
and here's
energy,
my thing.
So he's all about it too.
Exactly. So I'm all for that push for renewable energies, solar, battery energy storage system, perfecting that battery energy or that technology of batteries because it's getting more advanced.
Yeah.
But it's the whole cost effectiveness. I get it. But I think if we all go solar, if we all go battery storage energy, we could what some people have dubbed it kind of microgrids. So we could be our own little microgrid of, renewable energy.
Is it portable?
For the batteries?
Your microgrid. How?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Because you'd be off the grid. You'd be be able to sustain it. There were some videos of this guy. He was talking about I have my solar and my battery packs, and we haven't had power for the last 3 days, and we've been running it all off, sustainable energy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cool.
See, I like the solar. I don't like the electric. I don't like the constraint on your mileage that it gives you for vehicles. And I don't like that, here, maybe it's because we live in California and they like to put our little flex alerts out there and they want to say, conserve your energy. But let's make every vehicle here electric. So we're completely dependent on electricity.
Well, if anything is putting a strain, is air conditioners.
Why?
Air conditioners and just electric dryers.
Yeah, well, they're also trying to... Did you see what they're trying to do now here, too?
What are they trying to do?
They're trying to make all the stoves electric. They don't want to have gas stoves anymore. They want every new house to be
Well,
built.
gas is finite, so if anything, you're going to have more renewable energies to power everything electric. So I'm all for turning everything electric, but we just have to create better infrastructure.
I think that's the biggest problem, and that's the problem that California is having, is they're not building the infrastructure before putting these laws into effect and these regulations that they want to put. Instead of they're like, oh,
I'm all for it because it will push for new infrastructure because you got to start somewhere. So in other words,
you need to start with the infrastructure before you move on to selling.
Yeah,
people
but it's kind of the
vehicles.
catch. It's kind of like what comes first, the egg or the chicken or the egg. You know, it doesn't matter what comes first, as long as one follows the other.
Yeah.
So as long as it gets done
sooner rather than later, because now they have the what are we in 2022? So by 2035, they better start.
Yeah, 13 years is a long time, and it's all they're going to be doing is not allowed to sell new combustion engines or cars that are combustion engines. They're going to be able to still sell used ones.
I know.
And
I don't like that. But, agree to disagree.
I will. I love electric cars.
Yeah.
Just the efficiency. There's less moving parts, less things for fail. There's less maintenance.
But you
don't have to do oil changes
on a computer. So that's the scary part. But I mean, a lot of cars are now computerized to a point where it's just, it's a fault. You know what I mean? So I get that too.
Well, it's like our cell phones too. It's like we've gotten used to it.
It's funny. My phone's on its last leg and I'm at a point where I'm like, do I just want to get a flip phone? I'm so over all of it.
Smartphones.
Yeah. Huh? Tracking everything.
Why not?
Everything.
Yeah. I was happy with just flip phone back in the days.
Well, do they make one that doesn't have us going like A, B, 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 C? You know what I mean? Do you remember how you had to use to text?
Well, I had the old keyboard one too, so I like that one. That one was like, the little flip one.
Oh, what was that one called? Was that a Motorola?
No, I think it was.
I had a BlackBerry.
I had an LG one. That's what it was.
Oh, maybe it was LG.
Yeah, I had the LG one where it was literally like it looked like a regular type of phone that had the you could still use it in the front,
and then you could slide it up, right? Oh no,
it wouldn't slide. It didn't slide. I had the original one. The original one had the flip one, and then later it was the one that slides.
They like slid right up a little bit, right? I remember that. Oh, how far we've come.
How far we come. Yeah,
and I still remember we're having this. We've gone down.
Yes, I remember having this conversation just a little bit ago where it was like we were talking about just having the phone that I was able to see a video on there for the first time. That shit was like revolutionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for us, I mean, that was like, like chimps discovering fire. It was like,
amazing.
It was cool. It was like, wow.
Isn't it funny though when you go on like TikTok or you get your reels or whatever? I'm going to sound old because I don't really go on TikTok. But like you see the people who are becoming like viral because their videos are like, we're up at the boombox and we're going to videotape or not videotape.
Oh, yeah. We're going to record the song that's coming on the radio.
Hey, you've just reached Canela. Leave your name and your important message after the beep. Beep.
Beep. And then you have that little song playing in the background. Like,
I got to get it. And you're like listening to like Kiss FM, like hoping you get it at the right chorus you want.
But that was cool. I think we were all kind of like simpler times. Yeah, we were all just digging it just for because it was fun to do. We had to find our little escapism somewhere or our enjoyment somewhere, so it was cool.
It was that and going to find a party through the party line.
I know. I could imagine like how did we discover these parties in the middle of nowhere?
Right.
The directions are like you're going to turn left on 3rd Street and then go down 4th Street and make a right.
MapQuest out.
Yeah, then there was MapQuest. That thank God. But a lot of times, sometimes we get lost, and then we have to go find a payphone, a Jack in the Box, or a gas station. Hey, all right, let's play back the message again. What are the directions?
Can I ask you a question? Do you remember calling collect calls?
Yes.
And then not having the money, and then being like, "Hey, mom, I'm at the mall. Can you come pick me up?" Beep, and you get it before it before it.
Like, all right. Do you want to accept the charges? Nope.
I gotta go pick up the kids.
Of course. Yeah. Yep. You used to use those little tricks.
I remember going to a party right here, kind of by your house, when all the warehouses were.
Okay.
And it was before they finished building the warehouse, and it was a huge keg party with a DJ, like rave, like right here in probably one of, I don't know how.
Probably one of the neighborhoods over here.
It was the warehouses.
The warehouse, really?
Maybe it's not this exit, the one before. Might have even been on Alessandro, where all those furniture stores are, like right off the freeway.
Okay.
And we went to one right there. And it was all dirt inside.
Yeah.
And a DJ set up in there. I don't even know how he got power. The place didn't even have doors. And we walked in and we had a party in there.
There was creative ways, like I'm saying. There was a will, there was a way. We would take kegs to the woods.
I know exactly.
Remember the
what you're
swing?
talking-
I'm pretty sure everyone knows the swing. So everyone's gone there. I mean, we've taken kegs, we've taken girls, we've taken cars, we've taken everything that you could think of. Couches, cars, and motorcycles and shit there. So
Oh, yeah.
it was private. It was just, our little slice
I wonder
of...
if it's still a thing now,
I don't think so.
for the teenagers.
I don't know. I think for them, I think they have more accessibility. I think,
Probably.
they have Uber now.
My kids, like, I took them to a Halloween party on Friday.
Okay.
And I dropped them, my teenagers, obviously. And I went and I dropped them off. And I was like, oh, shit. People are still, like, throwing high school parties, like, legit. It was.
I don't think that's ever going to go away.
I know. It was kind of a culture shock for me as a parent now. Like, I'm not at these. Like, I'm still in my 18-year-old self as being, like, out there. And I'm not, obviously. I'm just a mom now. But, like, I remember dropping them off. And I'm like... I went and I picked them back up because thank God I'm at that point where they tell me like, hey, Mom. And I got them. I'm like,
that's good.
Like, was there drinking? And they're like, yeah, Mom, there was drinking.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, the girl whose party it was, she was dancing there with a Malibu bottle. And her dad said, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh, her parents were there. Hallelujah. But maybe not because she was still dancing with a bottle of Malibu. But it was kind of a crazy experience for me as a parent because that's the second time I've taken them to a house party.
Okay. Well, that's good. At least, that they trust you, like, hey, we're gonna go to a party, can you drop us off, as opposed to when we were probably doing it. I
totally hid everything.
Exactly.
I'm staying the night at Megan's house.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
She's staying
I'm really tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sneak out.
Totally what we did. Yeah. So they tell me everything. So the first one I dropped them off at, that one, I was like, oh yeah, this is a party. Like there was kids on the street just smoking out of bongs and ripping fucking blunts and shit. And I was like, oh.
So then it was a big party because when it spills out into the front.
Both of them were like that. They were both huge parties. These were huge parties, both of them.
If they start, it's a good party when it starts spilling out to the front.
I know, they got so mad. They're like, Mom, you picked us up too early. We were starting to have fun. I was like, you know what? I let you guys be cool and make an appearance is what I say. Quote, make an appearance.
Yes.
I'm going to let you make an appearance, but I'm not letting you guys stay there. I don't trust these people. I said, my thing as a parent is, nobody has your back like me.
Yes.
So don't think that anyone's gonna.
I don't know. I like to think I was that person that did. All my friends like had their backs when shit went down. It was like I was there to take care of them when they were drunk. I was there to drive them. That's my big thing is the drinking thing for girls. I have girls, so my thing is I don't want them to get date raped or Well, that's thinking the worst case scenario.
That's where my mind goes.
I know that's where your mind goes. It's your fears. But I mean, look, we turned out okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my big thing. I'm always like, okay, as long as you have people who are there for you, you gotta think about it this way. Not everyone's your friend.
No,
and if somebody wants to get you fucked up, they could have an ulterior motive, is what I think. So like, they can be wanting to get you so fucked up that they take a video of you doing something like ridiculous or puking all over yourself or hooking up or whatever. That's where I go.
That's where your mind goes.
That's where my mind.
That's where the mind of a mom goes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the mind of.
But
a mom.
you gotta look at it if it's someone like that like a friend. It's like you're always gonna be like, hey, just relax, be yourself, and just have fun, talk. Yeah, that's it. You're there to hang out, like how you said, make an appearance.
Yeah, make an appearance.
Also, it's a social gathering.
Dance, do that.
The whole extra stuff, that shit might happen to whoever. But
it's so nerve-wracking as a parent. You're just, oh God, it's just so I'm still trying to be the cool mom that like lets them go and explore the world. I think
of, what was it, Mean Girls? Like, I'm the cool mom.
I'm the cool mom. Oh my God, they tell me that all the time. They're like, you're fucking not cool, mom.
Has the margaritas.
Like, I'm not even mom, I'm bruh. Bruh.
It's so funny too. My nephew uses that all the time.
Oh, it's so
That's a young kid thing, I guess.
Yeah, they say bruh a lot. Or bet.
Or bet?
Bet.
Oh, bet, yeah.
Yeah, they say bet a lot. I started
What else? I'm kind of curious to because I hear little, obviously lingos like that. But what else do you hear besides that? What's the interaction like? Do you ever eavesdrop? Okay, not to put the business. Do you ever eavesdrop on conversations?
Oh, I'm at this point now where I walk and I go vape check, and they're like, "Mom, you're so fucking dumb," and I'm like, "Well, I caught your friends over here with a vape, so now every time I walk into your room, I'm gonna say vape check."
So okay, where do you stand on that? Like vapes?
I don't like any of it. I don't want to.
Even though it's like non-nicotine.
No, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but I think people who do it look so fucking dumb smoking it. And like when I see a guy at a red light,
well, I don't know. It's like for me, it's like hookah. It's like if you're just puffing smoke, it's like meh. It's better than cigarettes because fuck, we dealt with cigarettes growing up.
I think that's probably where my mindset comes because my dad is a hardcore cigarettes. Well, he's a hardcore stoner too. But
I'd rather them do that.
Yeah. So
rather than vape.
And it's funny that you say that because I've caught my oldest with it before. She tried to hide it, you know, it was a whole thing. She got grounded, whatever. But she's getting into this mindset now because I tell you, she tells me everything where she was like, I don't get why people vape, Mom. And I go, why do you say that? She goes, because it doesn't give them anything. Like, I get why people smoke weed. They're getting high.
Yeah.
And she's like, so she's very curious about the effects of drugs on the mind.
Okay.
So we have these conversations. So I told her she needs to go into that for college, but she doesn't want to. So, but we get into that conversation a lot. No,
but that's good. It's healthy to have conversation, to have these type of talks like how we're having now. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like vaping really gives you nothing other than just kind of like I guess that nervous tick, you know, maybe when people bite their nails.
I'm a
there you go.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a it's a tick. Anxiety little helper. So she was telling me about that
security blankie.
But now she's over here asking me like, "Hey, Mom, can I try to smoke weed?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, we're there now." Oh shit.
Kids will experiment. I mean,
at least she's telling me. I never would have told my mom. Hey,
how old were you
when I smoked weed for the first time? I was in 8th grade.
There you go.
Yeah. And
I think I was probably 8th grade too. 8th or 9th. Somewhere in between. Yeah,
so I think I was probably I would say like 8th, 9th is when that all started, like the alcohol trying.
You just try it. And honestly, I tried it, never liked it. I had my nephew, he told me the other day too. He was like, "Yeah, I tried it back when I was younger and I didn't like it."
It gives me paranoia. It makes me very, very paranoid.
Well, for me, it doesn't put me in control. As someone that likes being in control, I don't feel like I'm me.
That's probably where I'm at too, because the paranoia gets so much that I'm stuck in my head, and then my face gets really, really hot and like tingly. So maybe I'm allergic.
Maybe you're allergic?
Yeah, maybe I'm allergic now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so I've done it in my whole life maybe 25 times ever.
I still won't forget when you guys tried those edibles. You guys were out. I think I still have those photos. I took some selfies.
That was the funniest. You want us to tell? We'll tell your audience about this show we went to.
Yeah. So for those that are listening to this story, go ahead. You start. Yeah, you go ahead.
So we went to like a K-Cal Rocks show. It had the Offspring and like 311.
So fucking good.
I was so excited about it because I loved 311 and Offspring.
It was Jack FM, wasn't it?
Was it Jack FM?
It was Jack FM.
Okay, it was Jack FM.
Yeah.
And we went to it. It was in Irvine, I think, or
Irvine Spectrum.
Something. It was outdoors.
Amphitheater.
Amphitheater. Yeah.
Amphitheater.
And we get there, and it's me, my sister, and her spouse, and you and your wife, and it was just me. I was by myself, and I was like, I'm gonna be Dee Dee. I'm not drinking. I was so proud of myself about that. First off, so my sister comes. She goes, "Well, I got some edibles. You want to just try a little bit of this brownie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll just try a little piece."
And was it a little piece?
I thought it was.
How big was it, or how little was it?
Okay, so it was like a brownie.
Yes.
And it was probably like 4 inches wide square, like 4x4.
Okay.
And I took one block. It was cut into 4s.
Okay.
So I took 1/4 of it.
1/4 of it.
And I was like, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're good, right?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And then you guys hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
And then she took some.
Yeah.
And then the lights started going down. It got really black for me. You remember more, obviously, because you were sober.
I was wide awake.
I got to a point where I couldn't hold my cell phone. My hands weren't working. I was
could not.
I can't hold my phone. I can't hold my phone. And it fell. And then I kept asking my sister because she was sitting right next to me. And I go, "Am I pissing my pants?" I swore to God
I thought you were?
I thought I was peeing. I was like, I can't control it.
Or you just couldn't feel your body? You couldn't tell?
I was couldn't control balls, dude.
No, I guess so.
I thought I was peeing. I was like telling her, I was like, "Look, tell me I'm not. Are my pants, are my jeans wet? Are my jeans wet?" And she's like,
"And for the record, it wasn't?"
No, no, it was all in my head.
Okay, all in your head. All right.
It was all in my head. So I was just tripping balls on that. And then everybody else was, I missed the whole show. I had my sunglasses on. I could just kind of hear 311 playing in the background, like, "Amber is the color of her energy." And I was like, I'm fucked up. I'm missing this whole show. And then I walked down the stairs and I threw up in a trash can and
you were out.
I was out.
How
do you remember it as a sober person?
Because you were just out. You were kind of like if you drank too much, you were just like kind of holding yourself up, bobbing your head. You fell asleep on my shoulder. And that's why I was like, "Oh, I'm going to take a selfie of this one."
Oh my God. I've never seen that selfie.
Yeah.
That is
I probably got it here. So what year was that?
Oh God, I think like 2016 or 17.
I got all my photos
My
cataloged.
Facebook memory came up recently, so that's how I know.
So
yeah, I was done. It was awful, and I haven't taken an edible.
2017.
I haven't done an edible since then. It messed me up. That guy looked like a Mortal Technique. That was funny.
Because I got all these categorized, so it's either.
You're so organized.
Oh, that's part of being the project manager / operations
You're
manager.
tech savvy too, I see, right?
Yeah.
What kind of computer is this?
This is home built.
Oh, yeah, freaking nerd. I love it.
Where is it?
I'm happy to hear it's not an Apple.
No, I am not an Apple guy. I don't know where people get that idea. I think it's a culture thing where people are like yeah, it's a name brand thing. So it's like
I don't
Apple,
get it,
but it's not good.
I'm not an Apple person either. My kids are.
Yeah, you're very limited. It's a name brand thing. It's just like,
I think people have gotten brainwashed into thinking that because everybody's got the same color on a text message that they're.
Oh, here's this one here, the inclusive. Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
Oh yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I remember that one.
Yeah. Oh my, I couldn't enjoy it. She was, well, just to put it out there, I mean, she drank a little too much, and was just like, all right.
The photo he's showing.
Yeah.
I can see the alcohol has hit.
Where is it?
Maybe it was the year before. What are we in right here?
It was
2017?
2016, 2017. So.
This is so organized. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I like to just find things when I want to find them. That's the best thing you could just do with life. If you want to find things when you want to find, you got to organize.
Oh, absolutely. I'm working on that as a human.
Well, I'll find it. I'll share it. But yeah, you were just lights out.
Lights out for sure.
I think it was 2017.
I could have sworn it was.
I think it was 2017. So it was like.
Somewhere
I'll
in
find
there.
it some other time.
Now, yeah, definitely send me that.
Yeah, I will. But it's definitely there somewhere. And I just remember it was it was you and Elva and her, Amanda, that I think you guys all three tried it.
Yeah, we were all lights out.
She was sleepy too. Yeah, she was sleepy too, but she woke up after a little while.
I think I was the worst.
You were the worst. You were out. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like as soon as you sat down, you were already kind of bobbing your head of like, all right, I'm falling asleep.
And that was the first and last time I've ever done an edible.
Really?
Yeah, I've never done them ever since. I think I bought some, like at the dispensary, I bought some like pills to help with like anxiety, but they also made me paranoid and I couldn't even go to sleep. I started contemplating life and the purpose of everything, and it was like,
I always think I'm in a dream. Every time I'm like, every once in a blue moon, it's like my consciousness keeps waking up. It's like I kind of drift into a dream and then my consciousness wakes up.
That's crazy.
So I feel like I'm always kind of consciously trying to wake up, kind of like the Matrix,
When was the last time you...
It was probably 2016.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
2016, because I remember it was I lost the bet. Because it was like, I was like dieting and I told myself, yeah, I'm not going to eat. If I eat anything bad, then you could get a dog. And that's why we have that little white dog down there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I was out in a trip with friends in, where was it? I think Laughlin. Yeah, I think it was Laughlin. And just had a big old double cheeseburger. And then my buddy's wife snitched on me and said like, oh, he's eating.
And that's what happened?
Yeah. And so, but it was that I just remember it so vividly because it was like that same weekend. It's like, oh, we're all going to get high. And I was like in the bathroom. So I was like, all right, I'll take a hit. One hit. Literally one hit. And I was just like, I don't want to leave this room. I'm not going downstairs.
Yeah, messed you up, huh?
Yeah. I was literally in my underwear under the covers, kind of like trying to be, coaxed down from like just not being paranoid.
And you're just like waiting for it to go away, right? And you're just like waiting,
just waiting for it to go away.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So I feel like we're on the...
Yeah.
My vice is probably alcohol.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a whiskey guy. I'm good. It just mellows you out, keeps you calm, cool, collective, and you could elaborate more.
I wish I could be a whiskey girl. It looks so sophisticated, but no. I do Patron.
Well, it's how you take it. You just got to be... It's not like alcohol. Or not like a beer, I should say. Beer, it's like people are so used to just like... Downing it.
Yeah, I can't drink
beer. No, it's like alcohol, like the sophisticated... It's you take it slow. Because you don't have to drink so much of it. You have to know like, oh, I just need a little sips and I'm good. That's it.
Just ease it off. It helps me to sleep because I have really bad insomnia. So my thing is...
Probably because your mind runs a mile a minute.
Absolutely. No, for real. Like if I don't have a glass of wine, I'll be up till 4 a.m. Every night. And then I'm waking up with the kids. That's so fun.
Yeah, I bet. I've had those type of nights where it's like it wasn't even like I was thinking anything on my mind. I just couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I was just wide awake. My body was just all awake like it was daytime.
And then it makes it worse because then what I'll do is like, I'm awake. All right, let's go on YouTube. YouTube's my like best and worst friend.
Yes.
It's always there when I need it.
Goes down the rabbit hole.
Dude, it really does. And like me, I'm so into conspiracy theories.
I'll do Reddit. Reddit will just be forever. Just
Reddit, I'm still stuck on
articles.
food on Reddit. But maybe I need to check out the articles because you were telling me
Articles
about
are
that
so
other one
good.
that you saw on there.
Yes.
Did you see yesterday about what happened in Korea?
I heard about it, but I didn't see any video.
Oh, it's bad.
Why? What was it? What was the reason behind it?
They were having a Halloween event. They were out flooding the streets. And I'm going to probably butcher
I know,
it
but what
soon.
triggered it?
They don't even know. They just said
Yeah.
the waves were coming in. From what I'm reading on comments,
Just
of
people panicked, and it wasn't like a stampede of
it
people.
was a stampede, and you just see people. I'm talking dozens, literally lifeless on the ground, and people performing CPR. First responders, but also just
That's crazy.
people. It's very, very sad. I think the total last I read was at 150,
Jesus.
and I don't even know how that happened. It was like another, what is that? Travis Scott guy.
Yeah.
His little
His festival.
Astro World. Is
Yeah,
that what it was
Astro
called?
World, yeah.
That.
Which that alone was crazy. Mm.
Yeah. Well, how
I
do
know.
you feel about the Kardashians? How do you feel about Kanye right now?
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I knew you were going to go there. So I was actually waited till you finished your thoughts. No, I went on this big old, what was Kanye talking about? So he was going on this podcast called Drink Champs, and he was going on his anti-Semitic rants. And that was like, he was talking to people that were like hyping him up, like, yeah, Kanye. Yeah. Like, we
I have
support
not
you, but
seen
like,
it.
no.
So you've seen the actual video
Yes, I
of
love it.
of him
Yeah,
saying and
Oh, yeah.
what was it called again? So I can look it up.
Drink Champs.
Drink Champs. Okay.
Yeah, it's another podcast. So he was going on this rant about, because he was angry about getting screwed over in the past. Just a lot of his business dealings was going on. I think a lot of his frustrations with just his old marriage going down the drain. But then he went on this other Lex Friedman. I don't know if you heard of him.
I don't think I saw that one because I think what kept popping up when I
this
was looking
guy-
for it was Pierce Morgan.
Well, I also read that one. I also watched the whole Pierce Morgan one. So that one, the same thing. He was just going on this rant about just anti-Semitics and this and that. And he was just coming from a non-confrontational way, which I was surprised. I always never watched a Pierce Morgan article or clip or anything of him. So I always thought he was like very conservative or right-wing or whatever it was. But no, he was actually very... he was very like understanding where he was coming from. He understood like, I respect what you've done as an artist, this and that, but like, I'm trying to understand why are you saying these things. And he finally kind of explained, but he was just trying to go out for blood just because of the things. And the guy that he went to on the last podcast, the Lex Friedman that I heard, he's Jewish himself. So he was like, when you say that, it's like if me, because he's like a Jewish, Russian origin. He kind of put it like, it's like if someone like me were to use the N-word just to kind of explain that, like, even though I was wronged by this one person, but I'm going to lump that one person into everybody. Yeah. And that's what he kept doing. He kept generalizing. Why are you attacking the whole, people of Jewish culture? Why wouldn't you just go after the people that wronged you?
So was it the part where he was talking about like the people who run Hollywood and stuff? Was that it? What it was?
He was just more along the lines of record executives that were just screwing out of deals. He just kept going on about like, we should just be transparent. Let's put everyone's contract out. Let's compare. Let's contrast. Let's get lawyers and let's get them to compare. I'm like, you got to realize like all that stuff's going to be different. If you're dealing with different people of different talent, not everyone's contract's going to be the same.
No.
So it's like,
some
people are
get paid
valued.
more. Yeah, exactly.
They're valued more because they're more
or how many
valuable.
album deals they're going to have. Versus
Exactly. So his logic was kind of all over the place.
Kanye's was? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to have to check it out.
Because
I've kind of been, I used to hate him.
Egotistical. And everything to him was he was deflecting a lot. So he was trying to be stupid about it. He was trying to be silly, like, ha, 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 kind of laughing about it. But, they were really trying to poke at, like, why are you saying this? Like, why?
I have to check it out. Because some of his other stuff I'm like, I agree with. Mm-hmm. So I have to definitely see.
Well, what did you agree with?
It's so controversial.
No, let's do it.
Where he was coming from with the White Lives Matter with Candace Owens. And I will state that in the last, I was very liberal, and in the last few years, my views have completely changed, and I'm seeing a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to a lot of things that Ben Shapiro's saying and that I'm agreeing with, or Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and like all those people. And I'm like,
and here's the thing, I listen to people because when you only hear one side of the argument,
totally.
So that's why the whole Twitter ban stuff with Elon, let's lift the bans, let's have a dialogue.
Yeah, free speech.
That's how you have a conversation. Even Joe Rogan says the same thing. Like, you gotta have a conversation. You know, what is Alex Jones saying? Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, what are their talking points?
And that's where I think I got to a point where I was like, I had to see a different view, because I was like, I've been a certain way, and then I started going,
very
I'm like,
liberal.
You know what?
Yes.
No, this is kind of wrong. And I was talking, this is going to sound so weird. I had a really deep conversation when I went to go test drive a Cadillac Escalade a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, right? And
Miss Gas Guzzler over here.
I know, I'm totally the opposite. I got 4 kids. I need a big car, and I want a 4-wheel drive.
So Republican much?
No.
Yeah. Where are the guns at? Wow, you really are going over there to the right, huh?
Oh, we've had the guns. My husband's business, his partner is a military vet. They're veteran VA.
So you were saying?
Yes. So what I was saying was,
I lost your train of thought.
You totally lost my train of thought on that.
I know.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
You have to cut all this out.
We will. We'll go back.
I'm gonna cut it. What was I saying?
I don't know.
I'm not even drunk. That's
we got sidetracked.
You pushed me off on it. It was
but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep all this in here.
I was talking to the guy at the dealership.
Yes.
And we went on a test drive, and we came back, and he was talking to me about he was very conservative. Like, he thought I was, for some reason, and I was just like letting him
just talk
to speak his mind. And I've always been pro-choice, and he was very pro-life. And he was talking to me about it, and he was like, I can tell that we're both pro-life. You have a big family, and abortion's wrong, and all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't want to fight with the car salesman about like, no, I think it's pro-choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were having this whole conversation. But this is a thing that happens with me. People tell me their whole life stories. This guy told me his wife. He told me he had 8 kids. He told me everything. And people do this all the time. And he was telling me all this, so I'm just letting him talk and get it out, because obviously he needed to vent his frustrations on California. And he told me something, and I like Bill Burr. He's a comedian.
Yeah,
and he
like him
said
too.
A way of looking at it in layman's term for somebody is to go look at Bill Burr's. Just go on YouTube and search his one little stand up on abortion. And I did. When I got home, and when I looked it up, and it kind of made sense. And it was just like, he was making a birthday cake. And he put it in the oven, and somebody came in and threw the fucking birthday cake out of the oven, and said, well, it's not a birthday cake yet. And he's like, well, it would have been. And I'd never seen that perspective, and it kind of like hit me like, oh, that's kind of,
Yeah, but it's also like if you go to the grocery store and you get the little packet there, it's not a birthday cake.
Yeah, no, it's just the packet.
Yeah.
But I think
so. It's like the debate with people is, when does it start to become?
And there's never going to be a set A line on that. I don't think there's ever going to be
It's just how you feel about it. And here's the thing: feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get a lot of things confused. It's their ego that plays a part. Again, that's their politics. Yeah. It's how they feel about things. And we got to remember, feelings aren't facts.
Yeah. And a lot of people get their feelings hurt. But that's where we always go back when I go to atheism, because I'm an atheist. And so people will be like, oh, I went to Notre Dame High School. I went to Catholic school. And people were like, you don't even know about religion. I'm like, I was Catholic my whole life.
I was born again Christian. Yeah. I was raised Catholic. You just don't know. Yeah. No one has the answer. It's just how you feel. Yeah. So it's kind of like, just nothing could happen. Or I don't know. I could be wrong. I could fall in hell and... or I could be in heaven. I don't know.
A lot of my friends are Christian, and I'll be like, my thing is like this. If there's a God, that'd be fucking fantastic. Great. But do I think he is right now at this point in my life? He hasn't. But I mean, I used to have these conversations with my church when I went to Catholic CCD, and they kicked me out. They kicked me out of my CCD class because I questioned it, and I said this one thing. I was like, what if these stories are just
stories?
Yeah, but I used the word, what was it?
Fairy tales?
Chain letter.
Okay.
A chain letter. I said, what if these stories are a chain letter and somebody just wrote and they send it to another person and the next person wrote in it and started adding to it and then it just became a chain letter.
But that's what it is over the years because a lot of shit has been added.
Yeah. And so they ended up putting me into a single person group where
Wow.
I was just the girl who went to Walmart with the teachers and got the crafts for all the other kids.
Wow. Okay.
Fun fact, that was St. Patrick's. But yeah, so that was me starting at like probably 16 where I started to question my faith.
And I would totally, you should question everything when it comes to politics, religion, all those things. Question it.
Yeah, totally.
Decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Decide what you think is true because you have to take information from everyone and process it, and then you have to make up your own mind.
Yeah. And that's why I always say, like, I have views for different sides of everybody's thing. That's why I don't say I'm left or right, or I've always been independent. I've been independent since I was 18. So.
To each their own. So I'm all for, like, if you want to believe into this or believe into that, or you want to think this, think that.
Yeah.
But just know the world isn't black and white. And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people try to, like, make it black and white. It's either yes or no. And the way the world works, it's not yes or no. It's not very just clean cut because again, feelings
and
get
then
hurt.
Also reality. It comes into set with a lot of it
reality.
Too for people.
There's shades of gray.
Yes. I think there's too much shades of gray when you start thinking about it for sure.
Yeah, there is.
Where are we at? Oh,
so,
God.
Wow, we are at the hour and 26 mark, which is well over my average. But we're going to wrap things up, and it's been a great conversation. So I'm going to leave this to you as far as any last closing bit of dialogue, any little story you want to share, any words of wisdom, anything you want to convey to the audience before we wrap this up.
I guess just from our topics is to everybody do their own research. And for the people who like to not talk politics, I think you're doing yourself a disservice and that you need to learn and research and make up your own opinions about things going on in your state and in your nation and over the world, and to make yourself aware of everything, because ignorance is not bliss. It really isn't.
Actually, it is. That's why the saying comes from.
I don't think
ignorance
it is. I think
bliss,
no.
Because they're happy the less you know. There's a great episode on Love,
happy.
Death, Robots, which I'll point it out to you later, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
so
I
I
interrupted.
think you should research everything when it comes to what's happening in your nation and use that. I don't even want to say to vote because I'm against the voting system, but that's a whole other topic of everything because I think everything's corrupt. But just, make your own opinions, see what's going on in the world, see what your politicians are doing, because a lot of them don't have your best interests at heart. Mm-hmm. They have their pocketbooks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, just be a nice person. I guess
change starts with you.
Absolutely. Change starts with you. And try not to be a person of excess and think of that as success. Try to be a person of integrity.
There we go. And with that, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been a pleasure, and catch you on the next one.